The White House is reviewing Hamas's amendments to a proposed plan for a ceasefire in Gaza, and Federal Reserve policymakers are expected to announce today their plan to keep interest rates unchanged. Good morning. I'm Corva Coleman from NPR News, and here are today's top stories. Officials from Hamas have sent a reply to the proposed ceasefire plan for Gaza. White House National Security spokesman John Kirby says the Biden administration is reviewing it.
We're in receipt of this reply that Hamas delivered to Qatar and to Egypt, and we are evaluating it right now.
He declined to offer further comment. Hamas says it has amendments to the ceasefire plan backed by the Biden administration. The UN Security Council supported it earlier this week in a resolution. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is going to Qatar today for talks. He has said that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu supports the plan, but that appears to be different from what the Israeli leader has said publicly. A Delaware jury convicted President Biden's son Hunter yesterday of 3 criminal charges. They stem from a 2018 gun purchase. NPR's Deirdre Walsh reports that reaction on Capitol Hill is falling along party lines.
House Republicans say the case against Hunter Biden only moved forward after 2 IRS whistleblowers told oversight committees there was political interference in the probe of the president's only living son. House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan credits their testimony with the judge refusing a plea deal for Hunter Biden.
That's what won in the end. It won in the courtroom in Delaware a year ago, and it is the reason that they had to ultimately bring this to trial.
Democrats say the verdict proved that no one, not even the president's son, is above the law. They called Republicans hypocrites for saying former President Trump's guilty verdict in his hush money trial was weaponization of the justice system, while praising Hunter Biden's guilty verdict. Deirdre Walsh, NPR News, the Capitol.
The Federal Reserve is expected to hold interest rates steady today when it wraps up a 2-day policy meeting. NPR's Scott Horsley reports policymakers will also offer an updated forecast on where they think the U.S. economy is heading.
Fed officials say they want to see more evidence that prices are under control before they start cutting interest rates. While inflation fell sharply last year, progress in recent months has been slow. As a result of that stubborn inflation, the central bank may not be able to cut interest rates as much or as often as policymakers were predicting back in March. Higher borrowing costs make it more expensive to get a car loan, bankroll a business, or just carry a balance on your credit card. Just in time for today's Fed meeting, the Labor Department will report on what happened to consumer prices in May. Annual inflation in April was 3.4%. Scott Horsley, NPR News, Washington.
A federal judge has overturned a Florida law that bans gender-affirming care for transgender children. The judge says the Florida law is discriminatory and it's unconstitutional. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' office says it is planning an appeal. Champion hot dog eater Joey Chestnut is urging his fans to stay hungry. NPR's Giles Snyder reports on the decision to exclude Chestnut from the annual July 4th contest on Coney Island.
Joey Chestnut is the reigning champion of the Nathan's famous 4th of July hot dog eating contest. In fact, he's won what's called the mustard belt almost every year since 2007. But this year's contest will have a different champion. The organizer of the event, Major League Eating, has excluded Chestnut because he signed a deal with a rival brand, Impossible Foods, a maker of plant-based hot dogs and hamburgers. In a post on X, Chestnut said he does not have a contract with Nathan's or MLE and that they're looking to change the rules. He promised his fans that they will see him eat again soon. Chestnut set a world record at the 2021 contest, eating 76 hot dogs and buns in 10 minutes. Giles Snyder, NPR News.
You're listening to NPR News from Washington.